Enquanto você ouve suas músicas e podcasts favoritos, deixa eu te perguntar, você já sabe da novidade do ano? Chegou a nova Fiat Titano. A nova picape da Fiat faz bonito nos terrenos mais desafiadores. Performance com motor turbo diesel 4x4 e câmera 360 graus off-road, que ajudam você a ultrapassar qualquer obstáculo. Sem falar que ela tem a maior caçamba da categoria. Tá esperando o que para conhecer? Nova Fiat Titano. Chegou a sua vez de fazer história. Paz no trânsito começa por você.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Savaged Brief.
Hello and welcome to Savaged Unfiltered, where our host, Michael Gardner, and your co-host, Soslan and Michael, which I am. I'm also the founder and creator of Remember God Loves You and I'll Meet at the Finish Line podcast. We are doing a very special bonus episode talking about the breaking news coming out of Madison, Wisconsin, and the election committee, and how they're spending over $1.3 million to expand the Wisconsin's election committee board, bringing 10 officers into the new committee. This was proposed by Robin Voss, and it's going to be passed, and he's already seeking for more money. And stay tuned because, Michael, I want to get your thoughts. We are going to, there's an emergency committee meeting on this coming up Thursday, September 8th at 10 a.m. at the Capitol. What is your thoughts on it, like with the whole voter stuff in Wisconsin again? Because we also had John Lieber on last night, and he also mentioned about the voter registration, talking about the division within the Republican Party in Wisconsin. What is your thoughts on it?
You know, Sas, hold on, bear with me. I'm still a little heated up from last night. What we had discussed earlier today on your show. With the whole Biden, radicalized speech that was compared to Adolf Hitler. I'm still blown away by that. I expressed very, very heated thoughts on Sas's bonus show this morning. And I'm going to get into some thoughts that Sas had just asked me here on the Savage Brief here, bonus show. Voss, huh? It seems to be Voss.
You know he's a Democrat, right?
Yeah, I know what he represents, but it seems to be Voss, and Ethers, right? He's. I mean, those two are the freaking poison, man, in Wisconsin. And I just got off the airwaves here with Robert Ralph, and we discussed that heavily on the show, which guys tune into that show. That show should air on Spotify within the next few hours. We have to put some editing involved and stuff, Mackenzie and I here on the show. So look around for that. It was about 2:00. So that show should air around like 4 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we're going to try to get it around 4 p.m. Not too much editing involved, but yeah, hopefully. My situation, my thoughts here on that voting, Sauce. Well, let's just say it's a sensitive one. Let's just leave it like that.
Hey, we're unfiltered, so go for it.
It's I don't know, man. They got to get their shit together for one, right? Yeah. They're losing base. I've discussed this about an hour ago with Mr. Ralph, that between Ethers and Michaels, okay, I'm going to be real and I'm going to be frank with the listeners here on the show. Okay, Ethers, for some strange reason, is gaining a lot of literally attention with the Democratic machine. Tim Michaels really doesn't have a strong base.
No, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
Hello? Oh.
Yeah, go ahead, Sas.
Yeah, and see, that's the frustrating part. Like, and the sad part is that he's getting, so I also want to tell the event or the incident that happened after our podcast, our bonus episode. I had our county, Dane County, our county that I live in, their chair of the me and called me out, and I almost was brought to tears because of their really horrendous things that they said. Now, this is coming out fresh, so this is a bonus episode because this is coming out fresh breaking news. So what happened was, I was talking about the voting situation, and I wrote like a letter to the op-ed, and I'm sure Michael will put that like quick glimpse of it, like the juicy part on on his social media platform. But it was interesting because she called me and she said that I was spreading inflammatory language, and I was spreading hatred, and I was invoking violence in our county. And so, and she said that being used by the Republican Party, and that I have no right as a person of faith to continue my podcasting, and that I owe our county and the area I live in the biggest apology, and go pretty much an apology tour for spreading hatred and misinformation. Well, you know what I say to that? Fuck you. Pardon my language. I don't swear very much, but you can't say that to a person that has lived under communism and say, well, you can't say that, because that's like the kind of environment that I escaped from. Okay, I grew up in Russia. I grew up under communism. And for this country and for Wisconsin to go that route, and it's already here, is absolutely uncalled for. That's why they got to, if you don't like America, here's what I say to this: get the fuck out and let the patriots run this country. Sorry, I'm getting livid.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Why are they going to a route that they're saying that the Republican Party there in Wisconsin's using you? What are they using you for?
Because of the endorsements. Because a candidate I endorsed, if you follow my Facebook page, I endorsed his candidate. His name was Pastor Greg Candy, and he's from the 12th district. I bumped up his polls his poll numbers in favorability to win that district. And I'm getting like interviews from other people in the state of Wisconsin. For instance, the treasurer, John Lieber, I bumped up his polls for the Treasury Department too. Like, he's got a favorable chance of winning now because the interview that we had. So I have a stronghold in Wisconsin for some weird reason, and even.
Hey, Stas, they're looking at you as a MAGA Republican, right?
Yeah. And my whole thing is, if Tim Michael's campaign reaches out to you, and so does the GOP, you're doing something right, and that means I'm making a positive impact on the community. I'm waking up people. And I mean, for somebody, even Robert Ralph is excited to have Tim Michaels on my podcast. And he's like, hey, just tell me when he's going to be on. I'm like, sweet. And he should be on within the next coming weeks. And I'm willing to fight. And I'm reaching out to people like to organize an event called Fight for Freedom Rally at Madison to say, you know what, screw you. We, the people, have a voice. We, the people, are tired of being bossed around and being manipulated. Details are going to be coming out soon.
Well, you mentioned Robert Ralph. We got into some great detail last night with the Biden speech. We got into some detail what's going on between the politics in Madison, Wisconsin, of course, with the rest of Wisconsin. Guys, I don't want to give too much of that episode out because obviously the episode hasn't aired yet on Spotify and other platforms. So I don't want to give you that spoiler, right? So you got to tune into that because it was a damn good episode, just about a little over an hour long. And
hey, Michael, I have a quick question for you. What do you think of all the news coming out of Wisconsin? What do you think of it as a Florida native? Like, now you live in Florida. What do you think? You're like, man, that state is. I can't believe I'm going to visit California 2.0 or Russia 2.0. What is your thoughts right now?
Robert Ralph said the same thing. Hopefully I can call Robert Ralph Senator Robert Ralph soon, right? So Let's just say that because I think he's going to win. He's got a lot of great movement behind his campaign. So, soon to be Senator Robert Ralph said me the same thing. What is my thoughts on this as a Florida native? You guys, if you guys want to flip red, okay, and you want to look at that state as if it was here in Florida, you guys gotta get rid of the poison. You gotta get rid of that critical race theory that Wisconsin seems to be running on.
Yeah,
get rid of it. It's killing your state.
And we also have to fix our elections too.
Well, that could be fixed. That's an easy weekend fix, us. That's not really a big deal. The big deal is fix the problems that are affecting that state. The critical race theory and the woke shit that's affecting it. Get rid of the wokeness, get rid of the critical race theory, get rid of all that. Fix your education system. It's terrible. It's backwards. You guys are like the third worst state for education in this nation. That's terrible. Terrible. You have
That's not
kids.
something to be proud of.
Yes, Os. You have kids that are learning like fast forward, they're eighth grade children learning on a fifth grade level. Do you know how bad that looks? The provision behind it?
Oh, that looks bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and get this, okay. Governor Evers was in charge of DPI, which is Department of Instructions. He was in charge of it, and now he's pretty much made into like a federal, like he made into a state government, so he has oversee on it. And he is now like, he told DPI to lower the grading standards so he can look good through the COVID pandemic, to solidify, hey, you know what? This is what I did during the COVID pandemic. I made sure our grades and our teaching, our staff members were fantastic. This is why, I'm for the teachers. I say that is completely BS. You can't be saying
yeah.
that, but it's interesting. So I'm excited to, what is your thoughts on the hearing coming up in the election in the state of Wisconsin? What's your thoughts coming up on it on Thursday? I guess we're going to do a special episode on that because I'm going to be in attendance because I got invited personally.
For this election coming up?
No, so with state of Wisconsin is Janelle Branchin is calling an emergency committee meeting in Madison at the Capitol where they're going to discuss the election integrity stuff. She called an emergency meeting. So I got invited by her to attend it and attend afterwards and then ask her questions to maybe potentially interview her on my podcast. What are your thoughts on it?
I would interview her and I would bring up the like you said, the voter integrity. I would bring up the mail-in ballots. I would bring up the drop boxes. You have to get rid of that. Yep. If you want a secure and honest, open election, that not only it has to favor the middle, Sauce. It cannot favor either side. It cannot favor the Republicans. It cannot favor the Democrats. It has to be cut right in the middle. Okay. Yep. And the drop boxes. Look at the governor of Alabama. She's ended it. She
what about Florida?
Florida, we don't have it. We don't want it in our state. We totally ended the drop boxes. There's no drop boxes whatsoever. Mail-in ballots are set up for seniors and for people of special situations. That is it. The state of Florida has ended it. Ron DeSantis says no more mail-in ballots, none of that corruption. That's what needs to be brought up at this next meeting, at this next special election that y'all are holding. That's what needs to be brought up. Bring that up, and it should go bye-bye, Sauce.
Well, and you know what the sad part is? So, is your Supreme Court in Florida Republican?
Yes.
Our political party, our Supreme Court lies in the state of Wisconsin?
Democrat.
How did you know? Wow, you're smart. You're right on the money.
Yeah, I answered it for you. Sorry.
No, you're good. They came out stating because this situation, the same thing got to the Supreme Court for the state of Wisconsin. You know what they decided on a 3-6 rule? So, like, we have 3 conservatives and there's 6 of them are Democrats. The 6 of them stated that it is like okay to have drop boxes because not all people can make it to the voting booths, and some of them are busy. And they made this valid point. They had a Democrat speaking on this behalf where she told the Sobster how she had her absentee ballot inside of her car, and then she went through the car wash with her windows open, and it got wet all over. And she said, well, if I would have just stopped by the fire station right next to my house, I wouldn't have to get my absentee ballot all wet and have to be ruined.
Oh, Sauce. Wow.
I mean,
Well,
is she dumb or what?
Guess what, folks? Come on. You want us to believe that sob story? Get your asses up. Use common sense. Put the damn ballot in your freaking purse, and you won't have that problem.
Well, and how dumb is the state of Wisconsin, the Supreme Court, to believe that idiotic story, and to like say, well, you know what, my grandma wasn't allowed to vote, and that's why we need drop boxes. I said, well, you can't ballot harvest. And look what's going on with Ross. He's all in favor of ballot harvesting. Do you want to explain your viewers what ballot harvesting is, or do you want me to?
You can.
So what ballot harvesting is, for instance, if you go to an apartment complex, you don't actually have to go to the individual's door. You can say, okay, you know what? I want this apartment complex to be all Democrat. So you can sign off on it and you can vote for them, and all they need is your signature. And so then you don't have to talk to the individual. So that individual could be voting Republican all his life. And then what ballot harvesting is that can switch his affiliation, and the people vote for you, and you don't have to have face-to-face interaction. That is a major problem in the state of Wisconsin. They did at nursing homes. They did at the Racine nursing homes. And that's how Adam Steen, who's running for representative, that's how he lost his race, because of ballot harvesting in nursing homes, because they went to dementia patients areas and they said, you know what, this whole area is going to be Democrat. So that's what they did. Or this whole area is going to support Robin Voss. And so that's what the problem is.
Well, here's the thing, Sauce. If I may add in here. You guys have a special election coming up, right? Here's something also that Tim Michaels needs to run on. Okay, he has to automatically, guys. If you want your state red, listen, guys. For any of my listeners that reside in Wisconsin or any area of Wisconsin, okay, if you want your state to turn red and flip red, we haven't seen this in probably 30 plus 40 years, something like that. More than that.
It's been Democrat since I was born.
Yeah, so it's been a while. If you want to see it turn red, you have to when you have this special election, tell Tim Michaels he has to run on this message. Get rid of these corrupted mail-in ballots. Yep. Get rid of these drop boxes. They're a poison. It's going to manipulate and corrupt your elections again. Don't the people of Wisconsin see this? If they want change, they have to do this.
Yeah. Yep. So with this in mind, I want to say thank you so much, Michael, for doing this special bonus episode about Wisconsin's politics and the toxicity in it. And you guys are welcome to tune in on my podcast called Remember God Loves You, and I'll meet you at the finish line. We are having a fantastic content coming out. We have wonderful guests coming out. And so you're welcome to tune in. I did adjust to this nation, adjust to America after the horrendous and radical speech made by Joe Biden, who I call not Adolf Hitler 2.0. So you're welcome to join. And remember, you can find me on any of your platforms. And Michael has this very special guest. If you have Alexa, do you want to tell about my podcast? This is for the first time coming from Michael Gardner.
Oh, yeah, guys. If you go on Alexa and you put in Sauce's podcast, Remember God Loves You, I'll meet you at the finish line. Excuse me. It will bring up the current episode in its full entirety. Really, really awesome stuff coming out of his show.
With this in mind, remember, guys, stay strong, and we have to fight for freedom before it's lost. And may God bless this nation as the storm is upon us. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Take it easy, guys.